Hey, what's up everybody? This is Cowboy Mike. On today's episode of B.B.Q, we are going to talk a little bit more about barbecue with one of the restaurant patrons, Justin. He has a really cool story that's kind of interwoven with barbecue, and as we sit down and talk to him, we talk about the different barbecue he's had across the nation, the places that he's tried locally here, and it was a good little conversation. We get into a bunch of different stories, both about Justin and even talk about what customers have been telling us in-house. So sit back, relax, get ready to enjoy the show. Let's jump right into it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the B.B.Q podcast. A little different today, as we normally do around here. Today in the studio, you have Cowboy Mike, you have Dan, and our guest, Justin. Hi, Justin. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. Now, let me tell you a little bit of story about Justin. Now, he is our first customer-based guest. He came into Outlaw Barbecue Revolution a while ago, but most recently he came in to pick up a sandwich that he had won. And Justin, why don't you tell everybody why you won the sandwich?
I was working out of town, and my wife had tagged me in a post that you guys made about doing the neighborly thing and helping out your neighbors around you. And my neighbor across the street, she lives alone, and she don't have a big snowblower. So every time we get hit with the storm, first thing I do is in the mornings I go out and I snowblow her whole driveway before doing mine. And my wife decided to share that story, and you guys are gracious enough to offer me a free sandwich because I won your competition. So I came in and got the free sandwich for doing the nice thing and taking care of my neighbors.
Yeah, we ended up talking, and we'll get to that in a minute, because that's really where this story kind of explodes. The one thing about that is we did do a post. It's still active because we said every day between when we put the post up and springtime, we would give away one free sandwich as long as people comment in the comments that, hey, I saw my friend, someone do something really cool. The way the Facebook algorithm works, it doesn't get a lot of traction. There's specific reasons. I won't get into that. But if you live in the Erie area and you know somebody who has done a good deed, a neighborly deed, a lot of people helping people with stuck cars, cleaning off their car for them, things like that. And it's not limited to that. It just happens to be we're in the middle of winter up here. We're going to put the link in the comments, and if you follow what's on the post, your friend could possibly win a free sandwich. Remember, one a day, every day, until springtime. Okay, back to the story, though. So, when you came in and you had that conversation with us, one thing that you said, Justin, was, I grew up in Arizona, and immediately I said, "Oh, Southwest barbecue" in my mind. Mm-hmm. And as it turns out, I mixed a little bit of sauce up for you, and it might not be the exact flavors.
It was pretty close for as quick as you did it, though.
Yeah, yeah. So we all saw it on the Facebook post, and I'll put the link to that in the show notes as well. But describe to us that experience that inspired that review that you wrote for us.
Well, I mean, I guess it all kind of started. I came in, I had just been working out of town, and, I had a long week, so I came in here to get, the sandwich, and we stopped and talked, and you guys were nice enough to, ask a little bit about me. So I told you about how I was from Arizona, and I was you picked up on it right away. You were like, "Yo, Southwest, it gives this, and this," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's like exactly it." Not been able to find it though. So then you were like, "Give me a second," and you went back and you made that sauce. That was like a dead ringer for what I had growing up, And when I tasted that, that brought up all kinds of things from growing up in Arizona. We'd go get barbecue. I'd play little league, and my dad would be the coach, and we won the game or we had a good game or something. We'd go get barbecue from a local barbecue place that was out by the area, and that I hadn't had that flavor since Arizona, and I moved out here when I was like 13 or 14 years old. I'm going to be 25 next month. I haven't had that flavor in over 10 years.
And it took you back.
It took me back. It just right away. It took me back. I came in for a free sandwich for doing something nice, and I got to relive, a whole childhood memories through my taste buds. It was an awesome experience.
That's pretty cool. The other thing about that I think is really neat, and Dan and I know that we just did this, but we just partnered up with the Erie Outlaws, which is a youth baseball organization. So it's kind of neat how we're finding out that barbecue is related to a baseball memory, and we just partnered with those guys.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of weird how everything works out like that. And how did you put it earlier? Nothing like celebrating a win.
Yeah, with some barbecue right afterwards. Yeah. Nothing like winning a game and then going and get some barbecue.
Yeah. So, to all the Erie Outlaws, when you start your season, I know we still got some time. Have a win, stop on up. We'd love to see you guys. And we're trying to work out something really cool to help promote that organization kind of real time, to help keep the wheels turning on it. But more on that later. Back to barbecue with Justin, Arizona. The other thing we found out about Justin was you don't just have experience with Southwest style barbecue.
No. I've had a little bit of everything. I've had the Southwest in Arizona. I've had Texas style down in Central Texas. Colorado has some decent barbecue. I'm not entirely sure what style they would be considered, but that was pretty good. But another one that a lot of people don't pick up on is Louisiana.
Yeah.
My mom lived in Louisiana for a good number of years, and it's a whole different taste down there. It's just it's its own thing. It really is.
I love Louisiana barbecue, Cajun inspired flavors. The one unique thing, and I think there are a lot of pitmasters out there that don't know this, that in Louisiana, their firebox style is almost completely different from everywhere else. In fact, I'll have to do the research on it, but I want to believe that's where it originated in a way, but their firebox is above their chamber, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the more I think about it as we're talking about it, I'm like, maybe they didn't originate that. Because when you think about like a Hawaiian style, you dig the pit, you bury the pig, you put the coals on top, and it cooks from the top down. So it's actually just pit, like literal pit style barbecue, put into a box format.
Yeah.
So, but they're the only ones that really do it that way. So that's a pretty cool style of barbecue. If you're ever out and you see a mobile pit and wonder why are they loading the wood on top, it's probably a pit that originates around the Louisiana region. I've in my own personal travels, but I want to talk about yours, Justin. I've never seen that style pit in the other barbecue regions. Have you?
No, I can't think of a time that I've seen it other than that. Louisiana was the only time that I saw that. And at the time I was a kid. I didn't know that was unique to them. I always just thought that was the way it was done. Then as you get older, you grow up and you start realizing, everybody else was putting their stuff in a different way. It was on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of makes you appreciate the Louisiana style a little bit more too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brings in, like, they do it their own way.
Yeah. I have to do the research when that style came about and where in the world it really originated. But it's one part of barbecue I haven't really done a lot of research on yet. But it's neat for sure. Other than Louisiana, other than Memphis. Wait, not Memphis. I'm mixed up. Other than Southwest, top to bottom, where do you think your heart lies in terms of barbecue, since you've kind of done some traveling?
Ooh, if we're taking Arizona out of it, so the Southwest is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think the next thing would have to be, I believe it'd be Kansas City. Because it's got that sweet. It doesn't quite have the same bite at the end that the Southwest does,
mm-hmm.
but it's got that sweetness. And I personally like it when you get that smoky flavor from the meat. Mm-hmm. But then you get that sweet from the sauce, or the way that they do that. It just, to me, that complements so well. You get that bite from the smoke.
Yeah.
But then you get the sweetness from the sauce to kind of wash it down. Makes you want a whole nother bite every time. I can never get enough of it.
Absolutely.
The burnt ends tossed in the sauce. That's where it's at.
Kansas City. Thank you, Kansas City, for being the originators of the burnt end. They are one of my personal favorites. So that's number one on your list. How about number two?
Number two, probably for sentimental reasons, I guess I'm gonna have to go Texas. It's just that's classic barbecue to me. I guess It's just it's pretty bare bones, pretty simple. It's meat, smoke, seasonings.
Yeah,
that's it. It's a dry rub. At least what I had when I was in Texas, a lot of it was a dry rub. It was good. You put your sauce on after the fact.
Yep.
And that was good to me. It was something that I always look forward to. You didn't have to worry about if they were going to put too much sauce or too little sauce, or they would give you your meat and give you a bottle of sauce, and you did with it what you would, and that was fun. Some days you put on a lot, some days you wouldn't put on any.
I think we steal from that, so I can agree with you, because we tend not to sauce during the cook. And again, without splitting hairs with some people that do it regionally different, history dictates, at least what we know so far right now, barbecue came into the States, really landed in Virginia. And Virginia, I was talking to a gentleman. There's a number of great barbecue pits in Virginia, and he said the majority of them sauce during the cook. So we don't do that here. As Dan, what's your normal spiel, Dan, about our meats?
So if somebody walks in first time here, I tell them, I said, just so you know, we do not sauce any of the meat. It's dry rub, smoked. Sauce is always provided on the side, so you can put as little or as much as you'd like.
Yeah,
that's a huge selling point.
That's
too.
my go-to spiel when anybody walks in the door.
Yeah, that's what grabbed my wife to begin with. My wife is she likes what she likes. She's very particular, and she's not a sauce person. She does not like sauces. So when we can find barbecue that's not sauce based and it's smoke and flavor, and then you put the sauce on after the fact, she's the kind that we get your brisket, she eats the brisket, I'm dipping it, sometimes I'm not, sometimes I put it on a sandwich. The options are there, which is nice.
There are some styles that I think really complement sauce during the cook. Like Virginia based barbecue is really good. I would almost never use an Alabama white sauce without using it during the cook personally. Georgia, I've been to places in Georgia that sauce during the cook. It's a matter of taste. I won't say I favor one or the other, because Alabama style chicken is phenomenal, and it is sauced during the cook. I don't. I've tried to do it post, and it's just not the same. Like the finish isn't the same. It's so when meat goes through that smoke and heat thing, it's called the Maillard effect, and it's where the sauce or the rub kind of chemically binds with the meat, and it's completely different. You don't get that when you finish it versus during the cook. So, but as a standalone, we kind of bias or favor the dry rub method.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for people that don't know, the Alabama sauce is a mayonnaise-based sauce.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if you've ever seen the commercials for certain mayonnaise companies,
Yeah.
they'll slather their chicken in it and then bake it.
Yeah.
Man, I never knew that.
Yeah. So, not talking about the company, but talking
Right.
about the recipe, like Parmesan crusted chicken is a pretty, other than it being baked, and I guess to all those people that do like crock pot pulled pork. So, yeah, I mean, technically it's a style of Alabama barbecue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, not to split hairs, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same deal.
Yeah. And it's great. It tastes good. Helps with moisture. I mean, that's so most of your places that don't sauce during the cook, like Memphis, right?
Yeah.
Memphis, but they spritz.
Yeah.
So they don't sauce, quote unquote sauce.
But there's still something in the process.
Yeah, they spritz. And if you watch enough content about barbecuing, if you're not saucing, like on ceramic grills, people mop a lot, and that's moisture. And I've seen guys that do ceramic, they don't prefer the mop, they prefer the mist. But one way or another, the general rules for helping maintain moisture, sauce, misting, or fat content. Pulled pork, one of your favorites.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost naturally moist.
Yeah.
Just because it's very well marbleized. It's one of my favorites as well. Shifting gears a little bit, though, let's go back to the list. Third, what's third on your list?
Man, third. So we got the Kansas City, we got Texas. Did we take Louisiana out with the Arizona, or
No, we didn't. No, because Louisiana's more Cajun.
Yeah.
And that's, it's not the same.
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go with the Louisiana then, because that's it. I'll put it in there, but to me, that's kind of on its own, its own little platform. When I think of barbecue, you think of the big ones.
Yep.
You got those ones, and then Louisiana, it's still barbecue, but it's just they just do it in a way that's just
theirs.
kind of like it's just theirs. Like it's
Yeah.
just you can't. I don't know. It's hard to compare it to, you can't say like, oh, Texas and Kansas City. You can have that debate, but you can't throw Louisiana there. It's like a whole different level. It's like a whole different sport. But if I was making a list and we were taking Arizona out, Louisiana's definitely making top 3.
Okay. I'm going to make you stretch a little here. What's 4 and 5? Because I know you've
man.
I know you've traveled well.
Yeah. 4 and 5. I'm gonna have to go. I'm not entirely sure what kind of style it would be, but I did have some barbecue down in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
That was up there. That was
Okay.
good. I'm not entirely sure. I think they sauced it as they were cooking, like you talked about.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's the kind of style that they were doing there. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. I was a kid, but it stands out. You know what I mean in my head. And then, I guess 5. 5 would have to be, I guess, a generalized. I'm gonna have to go, home style barbecue for me. Like, you know, you
Okay.
go to your neighbor's house and, you know, they're doing the best that they can, or they're doing their thing, you know, because
Yeah,
it's not a specific style, you know, but it's still barbecue, but it's
Yeah.
just everybody's got their own little twist on it. So
The backyard
yeah,
cure.
the backyard barbecue. That's
Okay.
definitely gonna round out my top 5.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So this was a test because we had a little conversation where Justin has traveled to, and sorry, California, your style of barbecue didn't make the list. And the barbecue belt agrees with you. They do not include
Yeah,
California on the list, although they have their own style.
they do.
It's I know the inspiration. I like the inspiration. I actually, the one rib vest Dan and I were in, the first one I should say, because now we have 2 under our belt. We knocked out those 2 first place trophies. We actually borrowed some California elements.
Yeah, don't.
Sorry, barbecue belt
Trade
guys.
secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Not bad barbecue, just not
Yeah.
quite. I don't know. They're their own thing.
Yeah, they are their own thing. But the weird thing about the belt, right? The barbecue belt. Number one, anything in barbecue is almost a 30 hour debate because
Oh, at least.
everyone loves their style. I am, I don't know what the term is. I'm style agnostic. I don't like. I like it all.
Yeah.
But within the big 4, right? Texas, Carolina, Memphis, Kansas City. There's major debates, right?
Huge.
Texas, home of the brisket. You might as well call it home of the brisket because Carolina's like pork. Texas is like no brisket. Memphis is like nah. We're gonna stick to our ribs. Kansas City generally stays out of the way too. Like we're gonna focus on our sauce, and you guys can duke it out, pork or beef.
Yeah, pork or beef. We're just gonna do our sauce over here.
Yeah, we're just gonna. We're cool. We're cool. Okay, so that's your top 5.
Glad I passed the test at least.
Yeah. Well, you could have given me any answer, but for all the listeners out there that are in the barbecue belt, they appreciate your answers. The other funny thing though is just to comment on it. Alabama and Louisiana, even though they diverge from some of those styles, they don't get as much shade as California.
Yeah, it's because anybody that's actually had them you can't knock their game. It just
Yeah.
it's there. It's just not nearly as popular as the big 4. It's just not.
Kind of a funny story. My first ever whole hog roast was in Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we've told that one.
No, we
What-
haven't.
So
It was
tell
like
us.
a family gathering on my dad's side. My dad's side of the family's from Alabama, and we dug a pit in the ground. It's clay down there, so we dug that out. Did a whole hog in it. It was quite interesting.
That's cool. That's cool. Did you guys overtop charcoal or wood?
It was all wood.
All wood?
No charcoal. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I like it.
So that cooks from the top down, then, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a top-down style.
Yeah, that's your classic pig roast is. Well, it's tough to say now, but at least from my recollection, a classic pig roast is in the ground, covered with coals or wood. Because everyone can do that, right? I think that's why it's classic. Like, because someone will be like, "No, it's on a spit on a rotisserie." Okay, yeah. Even though you can grab some rebar, like a bicycle and
It's a lot easier just to dig a hole.
and a motor. Like you have to have some mechanical knowledge to connect all that together. And I get it; it's not much, but digging a hole, pretty much anyone can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm betting if you go back far enough, nobody was spitting, rotisserie the whole pig.
Yeah.
At some point.
No,
it was all done in the ground.
It was done in the ground, and when the Spanish discovered the guys doing it, they actually created an elevated platform and put the fire underneath. So even back then, you are correct. There was no spit immediately. So it's very basic. I for all those guys who think spit rotisserie is a true classic, I contend otherwise. I'm pretty sure digging holes in the ground, the knowledge of that
goes way back further.
Yeah.
I would have to agree.
Could you imagine trying to go way back in the day, spinning a pig on a spit with nothing but sticks and
that's
sticks
crazy,
and
man.
twigs? Like,
yeah, I mean, you could do it.
Oh, I know you could do it. It's a lot easier to dig a hole, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Halfway through, your stick breaks, and now your pig's in the fire. Then what do you do?
Oh, dude, that would suck.
Yeah, it gets a little too hot and burns the.
Yeah, you get burnt ends.
Yeah. So how did you? So walk us through. And I know we're coming up on the time here. How do you go from Arizona? What's your pathway to Erie?
Well, it was actually, I was 13 earlier, and my dad had a job opportunity out here. Mm-hmm. My stepmom's family was all out here, so, it just kind of made sense at the time. My dad had work. There was family out here, so we packed up all we owned in a semi-truck and hopped in my parents' 04 Chevy Suburban and started on driving. We drove from Arizona to Erie, stopping through Texas, getting barbecue in Texas. We saw an episode of, I think it was Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives or something. There was a restaurant there. We stopped and got barbecue down in Texas and then made our way back up through and, went from the Arizona desert to a full-on blizzard when we got here. So that was exciting.
It was like welcome to Erie.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah,
to Erie.
It really was. My grandmother lived in Wattsburg, and I remember pulling in, and she's like, "Oh, you guys just missed the storm." And growing up, I saw snow in like Flagstaff and stuff. We go tubing, and like it was fun. You'd go see the snow, and you'd go back home where there was no snow. You go back to the desert.
Yep.
And we woke up the next morning, and the first day I was like 4 foot, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. We're gonna go play in it. We'll go sledding." And then after a few days, you're like, it just doesn't go away. It doesn't.
It's always here, man.
It's always here.
Even in the summer, it's just invisible.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, well, it's gonna come back.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's cool. So you've been here since 13.
About 2010.
2010. And tell us a little bit. I know you travel a bit for work. That's another cool thing.
Yeah.
Maybe episode 2 we'll talk about that. But
yeah.
Let's talk about since you've been in Erie and have done some traveling for work, what have you tried in this region?
There's actually a little bit of a story to that one. We when me and my wife were together, we are together. We in about 2017, I took her back home to Arizona to meet my family and stuff. Uh-huh. And we were doing all the sightseeings and stuff like that. And we went to this place called Jerome in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And we got barbecue. We got brisket. And my wife loved it. Like I said earlier, she's super picky on what she does and doesn't like. So she got that. And, it was a good experience. Little did I know that it was going to be a whole thing when we got back. We got back, and now it's like, oh, we should get some brisket, or we should go find some brisket before you guys opened up. It was we should find some brisket because there was no let's go get brisket. We couldn't really. It goes back to that flavor palette. You know what I mean? It's just it's a little bit different everywhere we go. We tried, I would say, damn near all the barbecue places that at least we knew of in the area, and I think Outlaws is the only one that we've been to repeatedly since. Okay. Like that's.
But to be crystal clear, you're more like I am, and you're style agnostic.
Right, 100%.
So, really, the only reason you're here more is because your wife likes it here.
Yes and no. She
Okay.
she prefers this over any of the other ones. But
Uh-huh.
if I was given a choice, I'd come here too. There's
okay.
no question about it.
Okay, all right. So, because that's where I was gonna go next. Like, if she wasn't twisting your arm to get you here.
Oh no, I'd definitely still be here. 100%. 100%. It's the best bang. Not only the best bang for your buck, but it's also, it's not just, we cook over oak. That's what we do. It's just, it is what it is. That's our flavor. It's every time you come in here, it's a little bit different, or you can get a different sauce, or there's always just a little subtle difference that just keeps drawing you back. It's delicious.
Okay, cool. Regionally, let's talk about the places that you've been to. I want to see if I've been there.
Okay.
So top down, and I'll call out what is really
So
good
regionally,
about.
well, I guess we could start back home. Phoenix style. I guess Phoenix has their own style of barbecue. So there's Phoenix, there's Scottsdale, Tempe had some in Arizona.
Yeah, Scottsdale, Glendale.
Yeah, Glendale's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
We went to Texas. I forget the towns in Texas, but it was like central Texas. It was right in the middle of Texas. We went there. There was Texas. There was central Kentucky, Louisiana, Shreveport, Pineville. Never really got down to like Baton Rouge or New Orleans or anything like that, but that was good too.
How about here in Erie? And I think if you're willing to come back, we'll talk about places. For those of you guys that are listening, that bell, that means people are walking in here. So every time a bell rings, someone's getting barbecue. Cool. So in the Erie area, where have you been so far?
Like names of restaurants?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've tried Federal Hill. I've tried Dickey's. We've tried Underdog. We've done, obviously, Outlaw. We love Outlaw. And there's another one. There was, man, it's not Underdog. What was there's...
So there's Zoos,
Yes, I've had Zoos.
and then there's 3Bs.
Yes, I went to 3Bs with some family friends. We got their candied bacon there. That was pretty good.
Big Candy?
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah. Man,
I can't think of any other barbecue places
there's
in Erie. I know there's a handful of them, but
yeah, there's like 15. we'll talk afterwards. I'm actually gonna have you go try some of them. So, of the ones you named,
Well, you're gonna have to go because your wife probably won't like them. But.
probably not. I mean, she might. It's barbecue. It's fair. It's fair to assume that if barbecue's related, she's at least gonna want to go.
go try it.
Yeah, she's gonna go.
So Federal Hill, they classic style. You gotta love it. They're very traditional. The traditional pit, simple, basic. It's actually they smoke in a style that I think will go on forever, just because it's so simple. Dickey's is the same way. So they are in kind of the same category, except Dickey's is modernized. If I understand them correctly, they do not use traditional pits. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that that's a variation, and that probably has to do with the fact that they're franchise, right?
Yeah, probably.
So, the challenges with Federal Hill in this region or this area is they're kind of like one of those classic smokehouses where you have to queue up, and when they're out, they're out. So that's something to contend with. But I love the way they do their barbecue. It's really clean, simple. A lot of good things to say about Federal Hill. Dickey's, kind of the same thing, not the traditional thing, but you got to remember, for a chain,
kind of where it kills the barbecue is when you try to turn it into a chain.
It does, but just remember, they're still up here, right?
Yeah.
So for as I know there's a lot of purists, and I tend to fall in that camp as well, right? That it's more craft than chain. They're still successful.
Yeah. You can taste the difference, though.
Yeah. And I think we won't get into it here, but that's, you can tell a pit master who's trained as I don't know, I hate to diminish the way they do it, because I don't really know how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you learn from trial and error on the pit, or when you learn from a pit master, it's different than following a recipe card, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
You still go through your trial and errors, but again, this is part of that. It's a 20-hour debate. So, but Dickey's, credit to them, they were one of the first centrally located barbecue joints in Erie. They came into town when there wasn't a lot of options. So, plus there in Erie, they have live music and you can grab a beer there. That's really cool. I like that about Dickey's. Also, I love about Dickey's, problem for us, problem for Federal Hill. Dickey's, great parking. I'm just telling you guys.
Yeah.
Fantastic parking. And they cater. They have that van.
Yeah, but we cater too, so.
Yeah. You know, I didn't say we didn't. I'm just saying these guys are cool. All right, so Underdog. Love that it's by the peninsula. Was on the TV show. That's pretty cool. You know, let's see. One thing I really love about that format is there is a bar with the barbecue, and there's a lot of craft, because Dickey's has less selection.
Yeah.
In terms of beer, I think
Underdog did have a lot of beer selections.
Yeah.
It was a beer and barbecue. It goes hand in hand. It really does.
Yeah, and I'm a craft beer guy.
Yeah.
So, that's a huge plus for me. Plus, I'm also a big peninsula guy, so I love the proximity there as well. For those that have been listening to the podcast from the beginning, Dan and I and other people here were a part of that organization, and so I don't know how much they've changed the flavor ways out that way, but at least in the beginning, hey, we won 2 trophies, man. It's cool, right?
Yes.
As Dan's munching on some cornbread. Let's see. Zeus is really clean. Like why I like Zeus is when he kind of reminds me of Big Bo. Like put some more smoke on you, right?
Yeah, I mean he's got some really good stuff. Those armadillo eggs he has, I think those are really good.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a couple good sandwiches that I've had.
Yeah. The
So.
sandwiches. The sandwiches. He has a flushed out sandwich selection.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. I would even stack his sandwiches over 3B's. Little story about 3B's. I used to go there a lot. A long time ago. We're talking like. So I belong to a barbecue club, B.B.Q, in Erie. I'll put a link to their Facebook page also in the show notes. I got to remember what all links I'm including here. So I've got your review, the B.B.Q link. There was one other link I'm not remembering right now, but I guess we'll go back and listen to this. During the summer months, you can be out and you can barbecue. During the winter months, we used to go to 3B's, and we similarly love the candied bacon.
Yeah.
I also love 3B's.
How do you not love candied bacon, though?
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
it's got everything you need in there.
The brisket. Now, I'm a little biased because I like my brisket, and I like brisket in general. When I had it, it was really good. I still think it's really good. One of the things I love down there. Oh, I did a burger challenge. I think I showed you the picture, Dan. The burger. Yeah. It was like, he used to have this burger challenge. It was like 8 quarter-pound patties stacked, and so there's some pictures floating around of that. Also, I really love his Bloody Mary.
The burnt ends were pretty good there too.
Yeah, it's good. I heard, Dan, weren't you saying he's only summers now?
Yeah, last time I had drove by there was a sign that said closed for winter.
Closed for winter. Yeah, and that's actually classic, because Wild Hog out, I forget if it's Warren.
I think it's in Warren. Yeah.
They're only winter as well. So, sorry, got that backwards. They're only summer as well. A lot of places, they don't stay open in the winter. It's weird because winter is not barbecue season, which is why I think it's weird for us here. We're oddly busy.
Oh, yeah. If this is what the slow season looks like for us, I hate to see what the busy season looks like.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like,
Is there really ever a season for barbecue? I mean, I could eat barbecue all year round.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's why we're so busy.
Yeah. I've never really thought of barbecue as, you know what, it's December. I don't really want any brisket, you know. It's
interesting because this upcoming week, because you said best bang for your buck, right?
Yeah.
Someone ordered $1,200 worth of our barbecue.
Holy.
Yeah, almost had a heart attack.
I'm like, $1,200 at our prices is...
That's a ton of barbecue.
That's a lot of barbecue.
It's a lot of barbecue.
Yeah. But hey, cool. We'll take it. Thank you. You know who you are if you're listening to this.
Did we ever talk about the great debate in Erie on who was the original barbecue place in town?
No, I don't believe we have. So, the people who lay claim to it, Federal Hill, 3B's are the two that say we were the first. I actually think...
First in Erie, or?
In Erie.
Yeah, in Erie. Yep.
The person who I believe is the first actually lays no claim to it. They're just like, whatever.
Kind of leads you to believe that they're more inclined to be the first if they're not arguing over it.
Yeah, they're not. It's Z's Best Barbecue, and what is it? 20th and Ash, 20th and Holland. I can't.
It's on 21st and
21st.
Holland. I think is Holland. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right next to the garage.
In
right?
a car wash. It's like associated next to a car wash. Like they share the physical building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Isn't the one city garage right next to it?
Yeah, the municipal building is right next door, right across the street.
Yeah. So, I don't know if back in the day, and I'm completely making this up, any long-time resident of Erie that actually knows the story, drop us a line, drop us a comment. But if that municipal garage was there, I almost wonder once upon a time if that garage provided more business to that barbecue place once upon a time.
Well, I started working at that facility in 2001, and Z's Best was open then.
Yeah.
So a lot of us used to go over there.
Yeah.
In the summer times, because he doesn't open in the winter either. He only opens in the summer.
In the summer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just chicken and ribs too. Like he doesn't really.
That's
toy
what
around
I thought.
With anything else.
Like
but you stick to what you're good at, I guess.
Exactly. See, I like the way you think because we run a generally limited menu, except we execute very well on what we do.
If you stick to what you're good at, you don't got to worry about it much. If you try to go outside of your means, then you're playing with fire that maybe you're not all there with yet, or you know what I mean. It makes no why try to do something that you're not ready to do or whatnot. Stick to what you know, and people will appreciate the limited amazing selection than a wider it's all right selection.
Right. That's if you go back and listen to our episode 2, Jeremy talks about that exactly when he looks at a place's menu. To build upon that, there was a debate, and the essence of it is who's your target market, like ours, Outlaw Barbecue Revolution. And some people say, well, it's everyone. I actually say it's not. It's the people that love our barbecue.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, you have to try our barbecue to know if you love our barbecue, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to be everyone to every person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, my target market isn't everybody.
It's the people that appreciate the barbecue that you produce.
Yeah. That's
those are the type of customers that you want. You want the people that are coming here for your barbecue, not coming in here and being like, "Oh, well, you should do this or you should try that."
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if you like that, then that's fine. You can go to where you can get that. That's totally understandable. But if you like this style of barbecue, this is your place to go.
Mm-hmm. There's some flex, right? So I'm willing to expand a little bit, stylistically. The one thing I won't move on is, say someone says, well, you should have deep fried French fries, like instead of baked fries, right? We don't have baked fries either, folks, so don't get any ideas. You should have French fries. Well, that I appreciate that, and I appreciate that everybody loves a good fry, right? But I don't want to add on a fryer. Like, I don't, because that's more equipment, more line changes. And in this iteration of the business, and I'm not saying we won't add that later, but in this specific iteration of the business, that's not something that we're looking to add, because even we expanded our side selection this past week, but as anyone who's working on that steam table, you have a wider selection. You also have to rebound, you have to refill a lot more, right? And so there's challenges when you do that sort of expansion, and I always come back to another big question. And if you listen to this podcast and have been wondering, here's kind of some fortune telling, because this is what I'm gonna do. We created a Facebook group that we're gonna do more active menu posting on, but people say, I'd like to see your menu, and I think I'm gonna create what's called my everyday menu. And my everyday menu is stuff that we make fresh every day, and when it's out, it's out. And that's going to be like that one flyer menu we have now.
Mm-hmm. The one that you can't stand?
Yeah, the one that I can't stand. There's things I want to change about it, but it's going to be simpler, but it's going to have 3 meats, 3 sides, and drinks. And those, I know for the foreseeable future, that's who we'll have. That's what we'll have. And we can have an in-house menu. And maybe we'll call that the limited availability menu. I don't know what we're going to name it. But the everyday menu is all the stuff that we launched with that I know that we can support
and produce.
Yeah.
See, I appreciate a menu like that, though. When you come in and you know what you guys have, and you know what's available. You know, if you come in and there's something extra, it's a bonus. But it's the simplicity thing.
Yeah.
That's always drawn me personally to menus like that.
Yeah.
I hate going to places and they got like 42 items on the menu, and it's like on paper they all sound good, but that's a lot of things to produce effectively. You can only produce so many things at a high level. When you have a
Right.
large menu like that,
Yeah.
it's hard to give 100% to all those items. Something's going to give somewhere. Whereas if you have a smaller menu, you're almost guaranteed that whole menu is just going to be on point. Like, it's just
Exactly. And when we're looking at replication, when we move this to other places, you're also looking at sustainability and training, right?
right.
So training folks on a 42 item menu,
It's a lot of work, and
Yeah.
just the training, not let alone the
Yep.
actual production of it.
but training somebody, I think if you take it down to the everyday menu, 3 meats, 3 sides, and drinks.
Yeah.
And there's different combinations, right? There's different combinations.
You can do a lot with that combination, though. There's a whole lot you can do with 3 meats. There's a whole lot you can do with 3 different sides.
Yep.
You can add a little variation to each one of those and get something different that's still the same. That's not trying to expand too greatly, but you're still getting a variety, of something that's going to be killer to go with the barbecue.
We've got something exciting planned in beer, but we won't talk about that now. It's kind of a neat thing. What else? I think that pretty much takes us to the time limit of this episode. Some closing thoughts. What do you think about this? Did you have the turkey for the first time today?
Yeah, that was actually the first time I've ever had the turkey
turkey?
here. I think that's one of the few smoked turkeys I've had, period. And
Okay.
it was amazing. It was good.
Yeah. Dan, what are some comments we've heard out front about the turkey?
Oh man, there's been some people that said that they've bought their Thanksgiving turkeys from another establishment for 6 years in a row now, and it doesn't sound like they're going back there for a 7th.
No.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Turkey for me has always been one of those things. Turkey's always been hit and miss for me. Always, Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. I like turkey, but depending on whose house you go to, are you gonna get a dry turkey, or are you gonna get a moist turkey, or are you just gonna get like a store-bought tasting turkey? But
Right.
the flavor on the smoked turkey here was on point.
So the first day that we made the turkey, I attempted to steal it when I left.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew, like, so Dan classically, he's a brisket guy.
Yeah.
Brisket.
Yep.
And I know he likes the turkey, because anytime turkey's on the table, he's like,
It's gone.
give me some of that turkey.
And I'll have to say, the ham is also very good if you have not had the ham yet.
No,
Yeah.
I will
We'll
definitely be
get-
trying the ham.
We'll give you some of the ham.
I don't know that it ranks up there with the turkey,
I don't know. Only one way
but
to find
it's
out.
pretty good though.
Only one way to find out. I'll let you know.
Did we talk about the 2 guests, our customers that we had yesterday, because of his review?
We did not. Why don't you were there? Give us the play-by-play.
So I typically work the front when I'm here, and these 2 ladies come in, and the one lady was at somebody's house who had bought a bunch of food within the last couple of days, and she was like, "Oh, it's so good, and then they're like, "The only other reason that I'm even coming back is because of this review that I seen," and I'm like, "Oh, well, what review was that?" And she described it, and I'm like, "Oh, I know exactly whose review that was," and she was like, "Yeah, I got to get one of those, like this or that," and She was like, I don't know what you got to do for that guy, but you got to do something for him.
Yeah,
because he's the only reason why we're here.
Yeah. So, when Justin and I were talking about how to get the free sandwich, that's the other link.
Okay.
That post.
Yeah, that post.
Yeah. So it's that, your review,
and the Man B.Q.
The Man B.Q link. We got one more link to post in there as well. Stay tuned. We have a pretty cool shout out before we wrap up. But back to the story. They were in here only because of that. And when we were talking about the free sandwich, I thought, that's a really cool thing that it takes you back to what kind of amazes me and shows you the popularity of Southwest barbecue up here anyway. And Dan, I know you do some traveling as well. We don't really see a good Southwest representation.
No, not really.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's hard pressed to find. It's got that. I think it's that bite at the end. It's just it's a regional thing.
Yep.
Out the Southwest. They like spicy. They like that kick at the end. Not everybody likes that kick at the end. And if you lose that kick and all you have is the sweet and savory in the beginning, then you're back to Kansas City style.
Yeah,
which
more towards that style. Which is funny because there's plenty of Southwest burgers around, but it's like. So there's
but they're really mild down too. I've noticed it. A lot of them aren't. They don't have that real bite at the end of them. That's for me growing up at least. That was Southwest to me. It's like it hits you with that sweet, and like right before you go for that next bite, it kicks you right in the back of your throat. You just get that bite that the spice is just there.
Yeah. Yeah. So Southwest, from my point of view, they already had my heart because I like that flavor evolution. I like the experience of food, not the taste of food, right? Like, whereas a classic style, and let me go back to Zoos. I'm not picking on Zoos, but I'll say when you bite into Zoos, it's consistent. Mm-hmm. It's consistent, it's clean, it's well done. And
that's the flavor you have throughout your whole bite.
And that's what it is. It's not like Southwest. He doesn't do Southwest style, but it is not like Southwest where you taste it, it's one thing, and then
it changes.
5-6 seconds later, it's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that flavor evolution.
Yeah.
That's why I think a lot of people come in and they gravitate towards, even though they initially like, I don't use sauce, and then they'll try one or two of the sauces that we have, and then all of a sudden they're
sauce people.
They're sauce people out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's because all the sauces have a flavor evolution in them.
A good sauce can make a already great barbecue that much better.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really can.
And I'll even say there are good sauces out there that don't do that. Like, I don't really see it anymore, but it used to come in like a blue labeled bottle. Blue label, red background, white lettering. It used to be open pit.
Oh, they still sell it.
They still? I don't see it too much anymore. But
I mean, now there's like Sweet Baby Ray's is out there, and that kind of has.
You got Famous Dave's too. They have a bunch of sauces.
Sweet Baby Ray's just kind of came in and like overtook the on the shelf barbecue sauce.
Well, I mean, for on the shelf barbecue sauce, some of them are pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, he should. He's in the Barbecue Hall of Fame.
True, but I'm just saying, like, before that made its way to here, you would have more of like the open pit or some other normal, what I call normal on the shelf barbecue sauce, and then all of a sudden that came here, and then it's like,
yeah. No, I
go
agree.
to every barbecue you go to, like somebody's got a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's chilling there.
Yeah. It's kind of like a staple. You got to have it.
Yeah.
But going back to the two ladies that came in, they came in because of the post. Then they looked at the menu, couldn't decide what they wanted, so they ordered the brisket Philly, which for you that don't know is a very large sandwich.
It's delicious.
Its a total weight is about a pound.
Mm-hmm.
It has a half pound of brisket and an in-house made cheese sauce blend on a 7-inch hoagie roll. And then while they were waiting for their food to get made, the one lady was telling the other one of how good the greens were, which is not a normal menu item for us by any means.
Yep.
And she's like, they're arguing back and forth a little bit. Like, she's like, I don't eat greens. And she's like, but you're going to eat these ones. And she's like, but I don't eat greens. So I just went in the back and I grabbed a sample of greens. And then she ate them and she's like, oh, these are really good.
Yeah, I'll take an order of greens
I'll eat
too
these
with
greens.
it.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say about the beans too.
Oh, the beans are funny. Like my daughter is sitting over there staring at me. She doesn't eat beans.
Yeah.
She'll destroy the beans here though. We actually did an event with Adam LZ. For anyone that watches drifting on any form of social media, we did an event at our local speedway.
Uh-huh.
Adam LZ was here, and one of his guys on the crew did not eat beans. And I told him, I said, just for my own sake, just try the beans.
Yeah.
Then he came back up and he says, I don't know what the hell you did to those beans, but I love them. And he got more beans.
Yeah.
So 2 people that I know that don't eat beans that eat those beans.
There's another guy too. He works for Darden. He's like, I hate beans. Like, I hate beans. And he had the beans and he's like, yeah, those are good beans.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, I've never seen so many bean converts before.
Yeah, bean converts. Oh.
It all goes back to the way that they're cooked, though, too. You get a lot of people that don't like a certain thing because, like, you know, like my dad growing up, he hated certain foods because his mom would make them every day, the same day of the week, all the time. So you grow up, my dad hates meatloaf. He will not eat meatloaf.
Oh, that's a shame.
My mom would make meatloaf, and my dad, he wouldn't eat it. Not because he didn't like my mom's meatloaf, but because he had it so much. But, you know, my mom made a meatloaf this one time, and she was trying something different. You know, my dad ate that meatloaf. For somebody who hated meatloaf. He had like 2 servings of the meatloaf. Right. It all goes back to the way things are like are cooked or something. You know, it could just be, you know, a bad stigma. Somebody had some bad beans, or all they were used to was canned beans. You know.
Yep.
I'm not going to be inclined to go get some beans if in my head I'm thinking all they are is just a can of beans.
Yeah, that you can go buy and throw in a pot yourself. Right.
Kind of funny he brings up meatloaf. I've had 3 people ask me if we have smoked meatloaf.
That'd be an interesting menu item. It's like a holiday menu item.
I do have a smoked meatloaf. It is, it's expensive.
Yeah, I'm sure it is,
but because
if you sold it in a limited amount, I bet you it'd sell.
Yeah, because it's pretty premium. It is.
Knowing him, I can only imagine what is in there.
Wagyu ground.
Yeah, ground wagyu. Yeah.
Imported all the way directly from Japan.
Yeah, A5.
It gets brought over in like a sealed briefcase.
Diplomat community, like the diplomatic pouches. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. I like. So we have this smokehouse chili. We'll make it. We'll call you in when we make it. I made it natively one time, but then I costed it out to get an 8-ounce cup of it. If you're just making it and not the way we would necessarily do it here, because we have a lot of the stuff. But if you were to go to the store and you'd have to buy all this stuff, it'd be like $15 for a cup.
Jeez.
Yeah, but it is great chili.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yep. We also had. Ooh, here's a good one. Do the Mac story.
Oh. So similar to you, these folks were. Well, she was from local Erie area, and her husband was from Arizona, believe it or not. And
you seem to find that a lot, which always kind of surprised me. Arizona to Erie is not as uncommon as I kind of thought.
Just last summer, I met actually a whole group of people that moved from Arizona to here. But I think they were at a gym somewhere. I'm thinking on Pittsburgh Avenue, and they must live around here. So they were coming by. They seen the sign. They stopped in. We were giving them some samples of some stuff, and she was like, "I'm very picky about Mac," and she started rattling off all the Macs that they didn't like in town.
Yeah.
So, give them a sample of the mac, and she's like, "Well, this mac is so good, I'm gonna cry."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
In his head, he's saying like, "Please don't,
Please don't cry here. Please, I don't know how to respond to this.
Yeah, it was funny because it's just like, and
The mac is really good here. That's what the side I got with my sandwich.
similar to like what you said, like you just don't know what kind of like memories that brings back to people, you know?
No.
Like when they have that flavor. So.
yeah,
Mac and cheese is kind of like the beans too. I've had some really good mac and cheeses, and I've had some ones that just they don't quite taste. Like I remember this one. I'm not gonna go into names, but like it just tasted like plastic. This is the best way I can explain. It literally tasted like I was chewing on a plastic fork, and I'm just.
Wow.
So there's a big internal debate here at Outlaw about two different Macs because little do people know there are actually sometimes two different Macs.
Oh yeah.
Available here.
Yeah.
And I particularly like one Mac, and some other folks particularly like the other Mac.
Yeah. So it even within in-house, it's very taste driven, right?
Yeah, it is. Food's amazing like that. It can bring up all sorts of debates, and you know, mac and cheese isn't mac and cheese, just like brisket isn't just brisket. You know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's why I think one of the things that gets brought up, I mean, we might as well talk about it. People are like, "Oh, you know, I'm a big fan of Federal Hill, right?" And they'll say, and then you classically say, "I'm gonna see how you compare to them." To which you say,
"Yeah," and then I say, "Well, please don't." And then they just kind of give me this blank stare, like I'm like offended. I'm not offended. I'm just telling you that it doesn't taste anything like it. So if that's what you're comparing it to, it's not gonna meet or exceed your expectation because you're comparing eating an apple to eating
An orange,
an onion. You know what I mean? They're not in the same, even in the same ballpark as far as like flavor profile goes.
Yeah, it'd be like saying, I'm gonna compare Louisiana barbecue, like pretend you came from Louisiana and you go up to Kansas City, and saying
totally different.
I'm gonna see how you compare Kansas City to.
Yeah, your Kansas City style barbecue better be on par with Louisiana, but
it's the same thing, and like that was the only way that I could think of to get them out of that train of thought. Because if you think that way and you come in and you're gonna say I'm gonna compare you to X, Y, or Z, you can't, because there's nothing else around here that aren't anywhere that I've ever been to that tastes anything like that.
Yep,
like what we serve here. So the real true comparison, if you're gonna pick two barbecue shops in Erie that you can really compare, my opinion, of course, I'm sure there are people who really disagree, the only two that are comparable, Dickey's and Federal Hill, and even then there's still literally some differences, because when it comes to the sauce side, that's completely different.
Oh, it's a totally different game.
Yeah. Their sauces, not even in the same ballpark. Like,
you'd have to go just compare meats.
Yeah,
just the meats.
Yeah,
you know, they're pretty close, but you add sauce to it and it changes the whole dynamic of it.
Plus, I mean, not bagging on Dickey's, but I really love the fit and finish of Federal Hill, the way they serve, and
not knocking them, but you always lose a little bit when you get this chain going. You know, it's not always, you know, the same. Like, you know, like when I was growing up in Arizona, you know, there's In-N-Out Burger. It's, if anybody's from out west, they know In-N-Out. In-N-Out is amazing. You know, they're in California, Arizona, you know, but they don't branch out past a certain point because they don't want to lose that, you know, that In-N-Out, you know, that's just, it is what it is. People who know In-N-Out, they'll know what I mean. It's just a thing. You'll never see an In-N-Out on the East Coast. You never will. They're all family owned. It's a franchise, but it's a family owned franchise, and they run it, you know, in a way like you're saying. You know, you don't lose that luster from, you know, trying to become a chain and simplifying it and broadening so that you can get out more. You know, they stick to to what it is that they do, and it's
Yep.
the same thing like you're saying. It's just
Mm-hmm.
you lose a little bit when you go to do that.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be easy for us to move. Just think about it this way: when we go to move, and either they come up here or we go down there, it's the everyday menu. That's
Mhm.
what you start with, and you run that, and if it's good, then it's easy. I don't want to say it's easy to replicate because there's a lot of people that try to replicate it, but it's the easiest.
Yeah,
To
it's
replicate.
it's easier to, if you were to compare it.
It looks like we're getting some communication from the front. So the question live on the table is, oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a production thing. I don't know. I don't even know if we have any of this in house, so we might actually be out of this. So, let's take a pause. We'll come back with a review of the ham because I'm gonna get you a review. I'm gonna get you a slice of the ham,
Alrighty.
and you'll review that while I jump on this really quick.
Sounds good.
All right, we're gonna pause. All right, folks. Sorry about the pause, although you really won't get it because we just hit the pause button and we're back right where you left off. We had something to deal with on the production side that we had to like flash fire. It was easy. What that gave us an opportunity to do is have Justin try the ham, a little known menu item on our board. It's been there at least a week or so now, steady state.
Yeah.
And I think it's good. I know Dan thinks it's good. What does Justin think?
I thought it was really good. It didn't taste like a normal ham. The ones that you gotta you cut up and you bite it and you get that little bit of chewy. Still a good ham, but it's chewy. Not here. As soon as it hit my mouth, it felt like if you let it sit there long enough, it would just dissolve. It was soft. It was good. The flavor was. You could really taste the smoke in it. It's a good ham.
So that's the ham review, guys. It's allegedly delicious, but
It's
Don't-
not allegedly. It's delicious. it's here and it's delicious.
don't take our word for it. As I usually say, try it for yourself.
Be great on a sandwich too.
I can verify that. With pickles.
Yeah, that does sound good.
Yeah. The only thing I think we would have done differently to that sandwich, I would either put the mustard sauce on it, or
Which I had with the ham. Then it was delicious.
the smoked chicken sandwich sauce.
The smoked chicken sandwich sauce would probably be really good.
Yeah.
Little known fact, we also have a smoked chicken sandwich that is not yet released
Yeah.
to the public.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it, when we go to release it, you won't even have to wait till Monday. You can order it from Sunday from us, so it's cool. Like if you were thinking some chicken sandwich action, and
It happens to be a Sunday.
Yeah, when you can't get a chicken sandwich that you normally want to get.
You can come here from 11 to 6.
we don't have to be bashful. If you were thinking Chick-fil-A and they're letting you down because they're on Sunday, you can come here. It's cool.
It'll
be
probably
here
be better anyway.
from 11 to
Let's
6.
be honest.
No, like Chick-fil-A, I particularly love their sandwich. We were just having a conversation about that. McDonald's, sorry, you lose.
You're out.
Yeah, you're no.
Yeah.
Good try.
Was it
Oh.
though?
Almost there. I feel you, Justin. Was it
You know, it's good when they put it on that promo for you. If you buy something else for $1, they'll give you that for free. It's about the only time that I'll get it.
Yeah.
I will give Burger King the shout out though. They do come pretty close with that.
That's your king.
What is it called?
That's your king.
Yeah.
The chicken.
I particularly like the spicy one myself.
No, the spicy one's delicious.
Yeah. Wendy's, you got a good chicken sandwich. I like your spicy chicken sandwich. Arby's, do they have one yet?
I don't know.
No?
I think they have one occasionally. I don't know if it's there all the time. I feel like I've seen a chicken sandwich at Arby's before.
Aren't they the home of the meats?
Yeah, home of the meats. I'm pretty sure chicken's a meat, so you would think they would have have a chicken sandwich.
Like, I think, I guess Arby's, I would think you could put out a great chicken sandwich. The other guy, not quite fast food, but faster food. Five Guys.
Five Guys, they don't have a chicken sandwich.
They don't.
No, that'd be something that.
But two fresh fired.
Chicken and burgers though, that would go hand in hand.
Yeah, Five Guys. There's a
business opportunity for you there.
Cut me in for half. It's cool.
But if you want a really good chicken sandwich between 11 and 6 on a Sunday,
they have a plethora of chicken sandwiches at Arby's.
Really?
Do they?
They have a chicken, bacon, and Swiss sandwich.
I don't know.
Yeah, but is it actual like chicken breast, or are they doing like the chicken, like the chunk
know.
chicken, like a chicken salad type thing?
They're not giving me any pictures.
Yeah.
Doing a classic crispy chicken sandwich.
Well, that's
Okay, that would probably be close if it's
Classic roast chicken sandwich. A buffalo chicken sandwich. A roast buffalo chicken sandwich.
You know, I've been to Arby's quite a bit. I don't think I've ever even
That's
seen
the
their
weird
chicken
thing.
sandwich. So I wonder.
Yeah.
Is it
like,
hidden somewhere?
Yeah, I wonder.
For me, when I think Arby's,
I mean,
I'm
I know
like,
they have their sliders. They have those chicken sliders. Those aren't bad,
Uh-huh.
you know, but those are small.
I wonder why they don't play that up, because I feel it would be really good as a Chick-fil-A competitor.
Yeah, a lot of them on their website shows that they have like the chicken that you're talking about, but you know, they also have some like slabs of chicken, like cut up chicken breast. It looks like, instead of just a whole breast breaded.
Yeah, I'm totally unfamiliar with the chicken side of the menu on at Arby's.
Everybody usually just goes for the roast beef.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Roast beef. I don't know. Their gyros are pretty decent too. The Greek ones.
I've had a Reuben once.
I like their Reubens. All right. I'm very big into Reubens. Reubens are probably one of my favorite sandwiches. And little side story. When I moved up here, not knocking them, but McGrary's or the Oakwood Cafe.
Oh,
The Oakwood
home
Cafe.
of the
home of the Reuben. When I moved up here in 2018, I bought my house. It's right around the corner, right around the corner. They're on 38th and you know where they're at.
Yeah, Green Garden.
I'm within walking distance, and I love Reubens. It was a whole thing, and everybody was like, "Oh, you gotta go get the Reuben. It's the home of the Reuben. You gotta get the Reuben. You gotta get it."
Dan knows
and I'm
exactly
like,
where this is going.
I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, "All right, that's fine." I would, but their price point, it was like $15 or $14 or something like that. So like for the longest time, I'm like, yeah, and I'm not really feeling it right now. And I went to Panos down the street across from that plaza. They had a decent Reuben, I thought. I was impressed by Panos Reuben. So I was like, you know what? I'll give the Reuben a try. I gotta try the Reuben. I got it. I brought it back home. Me and my wife were sitting down for dinner, and I go take a bite. And I'm just like, just the sheer. I don't know if disappointment is the right word. Like the ingredients weren't bad, but it wasn't there for me. It wasn't like the Reuben, like everybody. Maybe it was the hype. I don't know. Maybe it was just everybody hyped it up. It was the Reuben, the best Reuben ever, and then I was just casually let down.
Did not meet your expectations.
Not even close. I much rather would prefer the Panos Reuben for half the cost. Like,
oh my
So
brain hurts.
it's kind of funny because we just talked about Reubens last night.
Yeah. Go ahead. Jump into it. We might as well.
So there's potential that we're going to do a Reuben out of here. So now I'm interested to see your reaction to the Reuben sandwich that we provide from here.
It's definitely going to happen. And Reubens are probably one of my favorite sandwiches for as long as I can remember. You know how like some people go to restaurants and when they can't decide, they just get chicken tenders? My wife, that's my wife. She does that. Mine's a Reuben. If I can't decide what's good, I will get a Reuben. I make it an effort to get a Reuben. Damn near everywhere I can get one, I go to get a Reuben. And
It's kind of funny, like when I have to go out of town for meetings and stuff. Like if I go to a restaurant and I look at their menu and I'm like, I don't know, and I see Reuben, I'm like, well,
Reuben,
gotta try it.
You gotta try it. There's just if
And
you like Reubens, you
like
just
yourself,
have to try it.
I have been disappointed by some Reubens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Arby's Reuben, since that's what brought that up. It's not amazing. I want to like praise it by any means, but
I think it's
if
good for
you're-
chain.
if you're out of town and you go to
Yeah.
a chain restaurant,
Yeah.
it's not bad for a chain restaurant.
Yeah.
Like I'm currently working out of town in Bradford, PA, at the Pitt College, and we're staying in a hotel, obviously, and there's an Arby's right next to the hotel. You know what I had the other night? I had a Reuben. It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It was not bad. They weren't shy about the meat at that one, though. I'll tell you what. That was a selling point for that Arby's. That was probably the biggest Reuben I've ever had out of an Arby's. Like, it was massive.
They were like,
They're like, hey, a customer. Let's
Yeah.
give him some extra.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
we are in Bradford, so maybe they got excited. They did the same thing with the Euro the next day. It's a massive Euro. Hey, I'm not one to knock it though. If you want to load it up, then I'm all game for it.
yeah. So the backstory behind the Reuben is what I look for is what's benchmark, right? Like what's everybody good at?
Ooh.
And then I say, like, is it really worth? It's the same thing that you naturally came to the conclusion of, and maybe it was a hype, but everyone's like, it's a $15 Reuben. I don't know how much it is.
I think it was. I think it was like $14.80 or something, because they don't give you fries with it either. So like you get the Reuben and fries. It's like a $15 sandwich. If you're paying $15 for a sandwich, I know things are going up in price, but you're paying $15 for a sandwich.
If you pay $15 for a sandwich here, you know how much food you're getting?
It's a sandwich. like
like a $15 sandwich out of here, you're probably going to eat. I mean, unless you're a really good eater, you'll probably eat for minimum 2 meals.
yeah, at least.
So, Dan, consulting the phone of knowledge.
Doing some market research.
Market research.
Um,
Speaking of Reubens, though, I think the biggest thing for me when it comes to the Reuben is the bread.
yeah, 100%.
It's gotta be. I don't know what crispy's not really the right word, but you get what I'm saying. Like it's gotta be.
Yeah,
It's not soggy or untoasted.
Yeah, it's well, I want to say pan fried.
Yeah,
but
pan fried.
flat
Yeah,
top
it's like a
fried.
flat iron or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
I went the one that I got, at least, it was they took meat, they put sauerkraut, I think there was cheese on it, and then they just put it on bread. Just on bread. Didn't do anything to the bread. How do you have a Reuben but not do anything to the bread?
yeah, but Arby's, if I remember, it's just on marble rye.
It is, but they do their quick. And again, this is
Do they
they're
press
a
it?
chain. They press it a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
There's a little bit of it there. It's not like they opened up the bag, put the bread on the thing, and they just called it done.
Well,
Oh,
see,
this is interesting. So
Okay.
they have a grilled Reuben, which is $8.
okay.
They have a turkey Reuben, and then they have
Yeah.
a Reuben platter, which is $11.
What's on the platter?
Oh, so you get the Reuben sandwich, your choice of fry or deep fried onion ring, zucchini, mushrooms, cauliflower, or fried green beans or sweet potatoes.
So it comes with a side.
Yeah, so it's just
Yeah, so maybe they rectified a few of the issues, because I haven't had one since 2018. That's how disappointed I was.
I'm kind of intrigued at this turkey Reuben thing. I don't know.
Isn't
what it
that a Rachel or something like that? Isn't that what some places call it? A turkey Reuben?
I don't know. That's good.
is.
That's
I've heard of the term, but I don't remember what it was associated with.
Yeah.
I swear I could have swore that there was another sandwich that was supposed to be a Reuben, just without just that they substituted it for turkey.
Yeah, like a martini, and what is it? Martini has olives. Gibson has onions.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you just sub out something and it changes it.
Yeah, it magically just makes it a whole different thing.
Yeah. I don't know, that the price. I like the price point on that Reuben. I guess the only thing that would make me want to do it different is how substantial is it? Like, how big is the Reuben?
It doesn't show any photos.
I mean, going off
And
of
it
what I
doesn't
had,
list a
it wasn't huge. It was, I think Arby's Reuben was a little bit bigger. It was a normal size sandwich, I guess. It wasn't anything monstrous. I would say it was maybe 2x4.
Because for $9 just the sandwich, we would probably, I'm not saying we will, but you would probably get close to a half pound of meat on that.
Yeah,
ours.
there's no way that there was a half pound of meat on that one.
So to answer your question, yes, the Rachel is with turkey and coleslaw.
Yeah.
Instead of corned beef
corned
and
beef.
sauerkraut.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they also call pastrami and coleslaw a Rachel also. So
Yeah. You got to be careful of that, though. I went to a restaurant. They tried calling it a Reuben, and I ordered it, and it was pastrami. And they're like, "Oh, that's a Reuben." I said, "No, that's not a Reuben. Try again."
Yeah.
oh, that's a good funny story. So I'm not gonna name any names.
I might, but go ahead.
I'm not gonna name any names, but I had a gentleman come in here a few months back, and he said, "Yeah, I was out to eat with a group of friends at this other restaurant for a birthday. We ordered some burnt ends. The waitress brought me out some 5 chunks of rib meat."
Oh.
And told me that that's what they had, and that was all that he was going to get, basically.
That's
we
not
felt
burnt ends.
so bad for him that we actually gave him some burnt ends, which we normally don't even sell here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to kind of be like, hey, man,
Yeah.
here you go.
We feel you.
We feel your pain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
so-
hurts. It hurts me to
That
hear the
hurts.
story.
And that only reminded me of that because of the old bait and switch that
Yeah,
you,
the old bait and switch.
that
You
you
order one
received.
thing, you get excited, and then, you get it like, what the hell is this? This isn't even close to what I ordered.
Yeah. One's a beef and one's pork. I don't really know how they thought they were going to get away with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, they all come from the same, the same thing, right? It's an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's their logic.
If you could, I think you could get away with it if it was well, the person would have to be clearly oblivious, but roll with me on this one. If you took a pork shoulder and deboned it, country style ribs, and because remember we were going to do this because as a replacement to wings, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. You could actually make burnt ends. I mean, it goes burnt ends way. It's not a classic burnt end. But if you sauce them like the classic Kansas City style,
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Mask it enough with the sauce.
Yeah, because the highlight of the classic burnt end is the highly caramelized, and charred
caramelized
sauce.
in the sauce.
Yeah, that's really what makes it.
Yeah.
And so,
It's candied almost.
yeah, exactly. So you could do that, except I happen to know where this dude went. They don't serve. They serve burnt ends in a different style.
True.
Yeah. So I think you could do that.
They serve the Rachel of burnt ends.
Yeah.
Well, they tried to, but it didn't work out too well for them.
Yeah. What happened to that guy? Is he come in here at all?
Yeah, he's come back in a couple times, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's barbecue is a cool thing. I love that there's something different everywhere. I love that Justin is a very experienced barbecue palate. That's what makes this conversation really cool. Yeah. So wrap us up, take us home, give us your overall thoughts. Can be about anything, about Be the Establishment, the podcast. You tell us, and then we'll do a quick shout out, and we'll wrap this one up.
Quick thoughts. You're going to be hard pressed to find another local business that takes care of the community like you guys do. And that's not just that's no bullshit. Seriously, like go back to your burnt end story. Guy had a bad experience. You don't even sell burnt ends on the menu, but you go back and you get them burnt ends. try to make that situation better. You're going to get a repeat customer like that. You guys went and made Southwest sauce that you don't even sell. It's little things like that the community really, I think it really draws the community back in. That's one of the big reasons I'm here almost every other weekend. It's a great atmosphere, and it's not only that, it's great food. At the price point. That's huge, especially these days. Everything's getting more and more and costing an arm and a leg. You go get brisket anywhere else or something like that. It's like it's a decision. You're like, okay, are we gonna go get brisket, or are we gonna go do this month? Here it's it's the same price as going out to Arby's or Taco Bell for some people. You know what I mean? It's much rather get something at that price point and support local than go anywhere else, in my opinion.
Well, we appreciate that. To add a little flavor to Justin's story, he's an iron worker, and he's not native to Erie, but he does a lot of things, has done a lot of things in Erie that you guys, it will inevitably affect the community. Like,
put up a lot of buildings in this town. Ironworkers Local 3.
Yeah, we cool story related to me. If you know me, you'll know how it's related. But he was one of the guys that was there start to finish putting up the UPMC Hammett ICU tower.
From the first piece of rebar in the foundation to building the lattice broom crane that we used to set that whole building.
Yeah,
I was there for all of it. That was a good job.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Justin has a coworker who I promised we'd have a shout out later. If you're into gaming and if you enjoy the Destiny series, specifically Destiny 2, one of Justin's coworkers runs a YouTube channel called Ironworker Gaming, specializes in Destiny 2 kind of tutorials. It'll help you improve your game. I used to play the original Destiny when it came out. I'm a little bit busier now these days, so I actually have the second game, but I rarely have a chance to play anymore.
He does a lot of weapons reviews and stuff like that to help the people that don't quite know everything about the game, and some of who have been playing it for years. But if you're into trying to get into the game or learning the weapons and stuff, it's a great channel to check out.
Yeah, check him out. Ironworker Gaming specializes in Destiny 2. You can find him on YouTube. We'll also include a link for that one in the show notes. And with that thought, folks, that was our closing thought. We'll call it a wrap for today. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is Cowboy Mike, Dan, and Justin. We'll see you guys later. Bye now.
Have a good one, folks.
See you guys.
Hey, what's up, guys? Cowboy Mike here. Thank you so much for making it through this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun putting it together. Definitely the first time we've brought a patron on to the show, and I think we're going to do it again. We will definitely bring Justin back on. Now, before you go, be sure to check out all those links that we put in the show notes for you. There's a bunch of stuff that we referenced in the episode, and we added those links in there for you to take a look at, so be sure to take a look at those. Now, one more thing, if I could ask a small favor before you go, just remember that we are trying to grow the podcast, and one of the best ways you can help us do that is if you share it with someone who you think might like it as much as you do, because we know word of mouth is definitely one of the fastest ways of growing the podcast. Again, thank you so much for listening. I hope you're having a great week. And remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and be compassionate. This is Cowboy Mike. I'll catch you guys later. Bye now.